Okay, Professor Bear here. We're going to continue this series on the Google Ad Grants. I came up with a little compliance cheat sheet. So we're going to talk a little bit about what the requirements are to our best understanding. Again, we are not Google. We are not speaking for Google. We're just speaking from our experience and what we best understand the requirements are. In future videos, we'll get into the actual AdSense tool. In our next video, we're going to go, how do we use AI to actually create high quality keywords and relevant keywords, which is a big deal for Google, making sure what you do is relevant. So we'll do that in the next video. But what are the requirements? You need at least one campaign. A campaign is like a theme. So our campaigns are Bot Speak, which is a AI fluency framework that we promote. Lyrical literacy, which is how we use music to train and exercise your brain and learn things and keep your brain strong. We have the Fellows program, which is an extension of learning. So people just continue to learn after they graduate until they get a job. We have AI for Good, which we have people work on software projects for good for nonprofits. So each of those would be a campaign. A campaign is a theme around something, which has to have at least 2 ad groups. So I'm going to give an example with lyrical literacy. So one of our campaigns is going to be, how do we use AI to create music which can train your brain? How do we use tools like Suno and Udio to do that? Others is we do that. We create a bunch of songs that we think are educational in terms of learning language and good for kids. And we'll promote that as we'll promote our own videos, the own videos we make for lyrical literacy, as well as our videos on if you want to do this yourself, if you want to make specialized videos for your kid, how do you do that? So those will be our 2 campaigns, but the overall that'll be your one campaign with lyrical literacy, which will have 2 ad groups. One ad group will be essentially exercise for the brain, and the other will, how do I use AI tools to create my own lyrical literacy videos? Sitelinks is a YouTube thing. So we have to get these to specific landing pages. And then we're going to have to put conversion tracking on those pages. So we'll go ahead and show you how to do that in this series. We create specific landing pages, which aren't typically easily visible from the narration, not the narration, the navigation. So we know somebody's coming to that page from the AdSense. So these are internal pages, and we're going to go over creating a couple for this. Bidding strategy. So we'll talk about that a bit when we get into that. Geotargeting is where you limit it. They don't want just the entire world. Our focus will be mainly US, even though we're creating videos on YouTube, so theoretically anybody could do it, but our language is English. So it would make sense to restrict them to English-speaking countries, mostly. We also have some Hindi and some other stuff. But we're going to just, for simplicity, just restrict it to the United States. Keyword quality. Our next video is going to be, how do we use AI to generate keywords? The great thing about AI is AI can generate thousands of keywords. Generating keywords used to be hard. Now it's not, and we'll go through. Then we want to monitor them, and we'll go into what this means when we get in the details of using the AdSense tool. You want to own your own website. You do not want to put AdSense ads on your website. That's a big no-no. You want to make sure everything on your website, when somebody you go to a page, it's relevant to that mission. We have music pages about using AI to train your brain. People should not come to our website and see a Taylor Swift fan page. They should see things related. On our website, on our Humanitarians website here, on our footer, we have just details, who we are. If somebody wants to look us up, they can use these numbers. Just take it into standard tools to look up that EIN, to look to see whether they're a legit nonprofit. We have our privacy policy. We have our cookie policy, our terms of service, our ad grants compliance. This is important. And the way we structure our web pages is, these are React components. So this is on every page. This is on every page. So we make sure when we create new pages, it's compliant, that we have all of the stuff that Google wants, and it's important to have. So let's go through an example. So this is for lyrical literacy. And so our geotargeting is going to be United States. We could also include that as well. Our language is going to be English. That makes sense because everything and then we want to bid on keywords. we don't want generic keywords. Even though this is about music, we do not want to put Taylor Swift. We would say brain exercise songs for kids, language learning for kids. In our next session, we're going to use tools like Claude and ChatGPT to generate these keywords. They do not want single word keywords like music. Music is too vague. That's a big no-no. So even though music is relevant to what we do, it's not specific enough for Google. It's music to train your brain, language learning music for children, educational songs for children, educational songs. These are the keywords that need to be there. And then who is our target? So we have parents, educated caregivers looking for educational music for children's cognitive development. And then when they go to our page, and we're going to create a page, our page should be clear that this is what this page is about. It should have links to our GitHub and our other pages related to why we believe this and why we support this, maybe links to other references. But when we create a landing page, our language page needs to be all about this. Then we have to have at least 2 ad groups in a campaign. So our campaign is lyrical literacy. And so our second ad group is going to be how to do this yourself. So you have a kid and you would like to, create some educational songs that you think will help their learning, or you're homeschooling or whatever. How do you do that? So those are our 2 campaigns. So let's go over our little Google compliance check sheet. On our page here, we put what we believe is the most important on top. We have to have at least 1 active campaign with 2 ad groups. So this means a theme and 2 specific things. So lyrical literacy, our songs for training your kids, you creating your own songs for training your kids is ad group 2. Sitelinks is where this is on their site. We'll go over this in more detail when we actually use the Google AdSense tool. We need conversion tracking. So we need to verify that, in fact, people are coming to the page, and then from the page, they're linking things. Bidding strategy. So we're going to do a conversion-based bidding strategy. We'll explain that when we use the tool. And geotargeting is they do not want the whole world. They want this to be specific. For us, it's primarily English language speaking countries, and in particular, the United States. No generic keywords. Taylor Swift, even though Taylor Swift does music, is not really that related to what we do. It should be music for the brain, educational music, educational music for your kids. Even though any particular keyword will not get you that much traffic, what we'll do is we'll show you how to use tools to generate thousands of those what are called long tail keywords. These keywords are better for you because if there's not as many people who are going to click on a long tail keyword because it's very specific. But if they're using a long tail keyword, it means they're interested in that specific thing. Google wants that, you want that. Because it means they're not just randomly. They were looking for Taylor Swift and they accidentally got on your page because you said music. Google does not want that. In fact, you do not want that. We want people on our page because they're interested in using music to help train their kids. To make them better readers, better speakers, better this, better that. Or to make their own songs for their kids or for their parents or grandparents or whoever. Website compliance. So we own our domain. You want to control the domain. You need to make your own domain. We cannot put AdSense ads on our website itself. Mission-based content. So we have to ensure, and we'll show how we check. We need to check and have checks that what is on. So, for example, lyrical literacy. This needs to be about lyrical literacy. What is lyrical literacy? What is it about? Where is it? Where are the resources, et cetera, et cetera? Every one of your pages needs to be relevant. And we'll talk about how to use tools like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini to make sure your pages are relevant. No broken links. So we are now writing tools to check links. We've been checking links by hand and found that's a pain. So we will write some tools that will make publicly available just to link check everything. We're not making any commercial claims or anything like that, and transparent about funds. So we have that at the bottom here. How do we use things? How do we use funds? On our donation page, we make it clear about what we do, what your contribution will do, et cetera, et cetera. We also you don't create our own thing. So, if example, if you go to the GoFundMe, we're using the GoFundMe tool to support. The reason why we're doing that, and please donate, by the way, since we're on this page, um, is people trust GoFundMe. They don't trust you unless you're Greenpeace or some big nonprofit. So we use PayPal Giving and we use GoFundMe. There are some others, I'm sure. But people trust PayPal. They know that PayPal has verified us. In order for us to do PayPal Giving, we've had to give PayPal all of our information about our nonprofit. They verified that we're nonprofit. Same thing for GoFundMe. And so for those things, you want to use an external fundraising device rather than do it yourself because of the trust. There's another level of trust. It's not just us saying this, it's GoFundMe having checked that we're a real nonprofit. It's PayPal having checked that we're another nonprofit. So then let's go back to this page here. So we have a lot of details also about, we put all our information here so people can verify it. All our images are either taken by our photographers or they're AI generated. So we make that clear. We only use Humanitarians AI domains for things. The mission statement is easily findable here. We can click on the mission statement. We can click on About Us. We can click on a privacy policy. It's on every single page. About Us, contact us, donate, who us we are, what we are, et cetera, et cetera. Technical requirements. We use Verso. You can use any real website. I would not recommend using Wix or something like that. It may not give you the control that you want to really make sure your website is compliant. We will do a bunch of videos on more the back-end technical end. You can also go to our GitHub. Actually, and on our GitHub here, let's go to the repositories here. You can go to our GitHub and actually just download our entire website if you want. You're obviously going to have to change it. You're going to have to change the names of the things and things like that. But if you want to just download this and then use it as an example, for example, if you like our website, if you like the way it looks, if you like the fact that it can go from dark to light, if you like the way it's organized, you can use that as a template. We've spent a lot of time making this template Google AdSense compatible. And we're more than happy. Obviously, you can't use our logo or our name or anything like that, but you can use it as a template to then change to do it for yours. And we're also happy to help you with that. So in my next video, we are going to, because this is already too long, we are going to talk about how to use AdSense, how to use Claude and ChatGPT in order to create a campaign. The first thing we're doing is we're going to create a campaign on paper, in effect. We're going to decide what is our campaign, what are our keywords, who is our mission, And then after that, we're going to then put it in the Google AdSense tool to create actual campaigns with our tools. But our step before we even do that is, well, what is our campaign? What are our two ad groups? What are our keywords? So we're going to do that in the next video. And so, again, if you like this series, subscribe, like, share, do the whole thing. That's it until the next video.